Hey y'all, Kentucky Farmer here, and today we are back on the Westbridge Hills map in my test game for my fourth video about Courseplay. In this video we're going to talk about the grain transport mode. If you're new to Courseplay and you missed the first three videos, you might want to go back and start from the beginning. There's a link in the description to my Courseplay tutorial playlist. In the last video we covered saving and loading courses and advanced transfer mode configuration options. Today we're going to expand on that idea of a transfer course by using the grain transport mode, which will basically use a transfer course to move grain from the field edge to your silos or from your silos to a sale point. Differentiating between those two options is more of a personal preference than a rule. You could easily set up a course that would take grain from the field edge to a sale point. However, because I like to save and reuse courses, by always transporting grain from the field edge to the farm silos first, and then from the farm to the sale points, you can reduce the total number of possible courses, and it allows you to tailor the course to a particular type of equipment. For example, you could use a tractor with a tipper to bring the grain to the main silo, and then use a semi with a large trailer to transport the grain from the main silo over the road to the sale point. This more closely mimics how this would be done in real life. To get started, we're going to go ahead and get in our semi here and head over to our silos so that we can record our first course. What you're going to want to do is position your semi so that it's underneath the fill point, like so. And we're going to come over here and we're going to tell it to start course recording. Now, you can record the course empty, but I prefer to go ahead and fill up. We've got a lot of wheat to sell, so we're going to go ahead and take a load of wheat. By recording the course with a full trailer, you more closely mimic how Courseplay will have to handle driving, and it's important because of the weight of the trailer. Driving an empty truck and trailer around the map is a lot easier than driving a full trailer. Alright, now that we've got a full load, we can go ahead and start driving. Again, we want to adhere to the 3-waypoint rule. There's our third waypoint, so we can begin our turn. Just like with transfer courses, we're going to want to maintain our correct lane position. For this course, we're going to drive over to the flour mill. Alright, now that we've reached our unload point, we can go ahead and empty our trailer. We kind of do this for the same reason why we drove the first part with a full trailer. We want to mimic the physics of driving an empty trailer. If you notice, we're about to go up a hill over here. Now we can do this a lot faster now because the trailer is actually empty. We can also take that turn a little bit faster. Again, I'm trying to maintain my lane position, so in case we set up another course coming the opposite direction down this road, we don't have to worry about two items colliding, or this road coming up here where we're about to make a left-hand turn has AI traffic on it. If the vehicle encounters AI traffic while it's in Courseplay, if it's a vehicle in front of it, it will just slow down to basically match that vehicle's speed, or it'll get stuck. But it's better than having it meet an AI vehicle head-on, because if it does that, then both vehicles will come to a stop and you'll have to go free the vehicle so that it can keep driving the course. I'm going to turn left here and head down to our farm. Okay, then we're going to get lined back up, and we are going to get about 15 to 20 meters away from our start point, and then we'll go ahead and stop our course. And then we're going to save this course. We'll just call this one Flour Mill. And I'll come over here and do our manage way courses. And we're going to make a new folder called Cell. And then we're going to make a new folder called Grain. And we're going to move the Grain folder under the Cell folder and move the Flour Mill course under the Grain folder. So now, if we go to load this course, we select Cell, Grain, Flour Mill. To drive the course, we simply tell the truck to start at the first waypoint, and then we need to be sure we switch our type over here to the Grain Transport, which, if you notice, also brings up an additional option here for farm silo load. So what it's asking for is which crop type do we want to load into the trailer. And we want to transport wheat from the first waypoint, and we're going to drive course. If you notice, when we selected that type, it's going to fill, and once it fills, it'll keep driving. If you notice, when we selected the course type, we got an additional settings option up here where we can control our turning radius and our start at and drive on settings. This would be for if we had the trailer sitting at the field edge and was being filled by a combine. So again, we've got the speed here set to from recording. So the truck and trailer should basically go at the same speed that it went at when we recorded the course. If we wanted to, we could switch it over to maximum speed, but we got to be careful with that option because it's quite possible that it will overdrive the corners. So we're going to go ahead and just leave it in from recording. I think we'll go ahead and speed this part of the video up, and I'll resume again once we get back to the farm. Alright, so now that we're back in the farmyard, we're actually going to go ahead and stop the driver. So now that we've created a route that can be used to sell grain, similar routes can be created for each of the various sale points on the map, allowing us to quickly dispatch a truck to sell grain wherever the best payout is or where there might be a great demand. You can also have multiple trucks driving the same route. So now we're going to go ahead and repeat this, and I've got 2 more trucks set up over here, and I'm going to set them out on the exact same course, and I'll just play that for you again at high speed. So we'll go ahead and send this guy on his way. Drive course. I'll hop over here to our next truck. I'm going to sell grain at the flour mill. First waypoint, grain transport, wheat. Bring them over here. Tell them to drive course. Sell grain at the flour mill. First waypoint, grain transport, selling wheat. Alright, so that's an example of how you can send multiple trucks to run on the same grain transport course. Now I'm going to do an example of using a modified truck with a special triple trailer to do grain transport. And again, we'll get this thing started like we normally do, and then we'll fast forward the video while it's actually running the course. Alright, so that was an example of using Courseplay in grain transfer mode with a non-stock truck and trailer combination, just to show that Courseplay is able to handle multiple trailers on the same vehicle. The next thing we're going to talk about is how to use grain transport mode when taking grain or some other crop, chaff or grass or straw from a field edge back to a main storage facility. To set up a grain transport course to transport grain from a field edge back to the main farm silos, we must first drive over to the field that we want to transport the grain from. In this example, we're going to use field 15. When lining up on the field edge, it's important to give yourself enough runway to keep the truck nice and straight, and to give enough room behind you for setting up the overloader courses and the combine self-unloading courses. So here we are, we're almost to the middle of field 15. This is a pretty good spot. I'm going to go ahead and stop here. Now that we've got our truck in a good position for field side offloading, we'll go ahead and bring up Courseplay, and we're going to say start course recording. Again, we want to get 3 waypoints, 1, 2, 3. Now we can merge back onto the highway, and we are going to turn here and take this back over to our main farm. Again, like all of our other courses, when you're driving on the road, it's important to make sure that you're driving on the correct side of the road to reduce the possibility of interfering with traffic or other vehicles running Courseplay. And then, like the unloading courses, it's also important to make sure that you always approach your unloading point from the same direction. So I always prefer to unload mine from the inside of the farm out. And so we don't have any grain, but all we do is just drive over the unloading point for now. When Courseplay is driving the semi, it will automatically detect that unloading point and empty the semi. Now we're going to come back around and just kind of follow the tracks that we left before. And we're going to come up here until we're about 10-15 meters away from our start point. We'll go ahead and stop the truck. So that's an example of the grain transport course. Unfortunately, we don't currently have a harvester running in this field, so we're going to go ahead and save this route for now. And in the 6th and 7th videos in this Courseplay tutorial, we'll use this route to demonstrate how grain transport mode can be used in conjunction with the overloader mode and the combine self-unloading mode. So that concludes the 4th video in my Courseplay series. In the next video in this series, I'll cover the combine mode. If you're interested in trying out Courseplay, I'll put a link in the description below to the mod website. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them below. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, be sure to click the like button and subscribe for more farming simulator videos. I'm Kentucky Farmer, thanks for watching.